folks and friends, I know it's been a long time since I made a video. Today we're gonna bring you something super sick. We're gonna convert that patio heater from expensive propane to the more affordable, soon to be outlawed natural gas. Why are we doing that? Well, because it's been a pain in the last couple of weeks and we had to move the shop. You folks not only how to do it, but I'm also gonna explain to you why you're doing it, which is the most important part of anything that you're doing, just like all the rest of my videos. Just so you folks that kind of know what to do, do me a favor, don't mess up my algorithm, turn the volume down, let the rest of the video play while I show you actually how to do it. I need you folks to keep in mind that even though you may be like totally amateur to this or have never even done it, if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. And don't forget, these things were probably produced by 8 to 12-year-old children. If they can do it, you can do it. You probably don't know which orifice tube you're going to use, but it's based on the BTUs of the actual unit, what the output of the BTUs are. Almost always, you can look on the unit itself and find the output or BTUs that it's putting out. Or you can just Google that specific product that you're converting and look it up. The output of my BTUs on my gas patio heater is 41 thousandths. So I need to drill that out 1/8 of an inch. This is exactly how it's done no matter what you're working on, even if you're working on a gas stove or a patio heater or any kind of heating thing that goes from propane to natural gas or natural gas back to propane. Doesn't make a bit of difference. All of this stuff is made by little 12-year-olds in Asia. So it needs to be able to be converted from natural gas to propane or back from propane to natural gas affordably and inexpensively on the assembly line. Anything can go either way. Very similar to bisexuals. When they flip a coin in the morning, heads or tails, they win. Everything from automobiles to furniture needs to be assembled and produced easily. Keep that in mind no matter what you're working on. Okay, so this thing's been beat around a little bit. We need to take some of these screws out of here. We need to get to the working mechanism parts up there at the top. And I'm gonna eventually affix this to the table, but this is great for people who have these patio heaters that don't want to constantly change these tanks, and you want to make it more efficient if you're using these at like a bar or something like that outside. Now, it does not matter if your heater is this exact same make and model. Well, pretty much going to be the same. You get down to it, simple. So now I need to remove the rest of this base. If you're not removing your base like me, you probably could just start removing these screws first, which are going to get us to the head of the unit. Or you can remove these, which is also going to remove the head of the unit. All right, so with the screws out of that, you can take that off of there. Then we have the inner workings of our unit. Now down here on the base of it, our propane flows through our nozzle, which is located right here. Natural gas, we don't need this right here. So we can take some tape or something like that and close this off. It don't have to be heat tape because this should not be getting hot, but we don't need that airflow through this window right here. So that's one of the things. The other thing is we need to get down to our orifice tube inside here. There's a small description of what's going on inside here for those layman type people. This is our igniter. This is our gas inlet. This right here is our pilot light. Nozzle is located down here, part that we need to drill out or replace with the proper orifice. Over here is in case this thing fell over. This switch, in order for current to go through, has to be closed. So upside down, it wouldn't actually work right now because it's not pushing on this micro switch to allow the current to flow through it. So if you ever have one of these that don't work, just shake it a little bit, because inside here there's a ball bearing, and that ball bearing's got to push down on that switch to close that, to open that circuit up. There's really technically no electricity flowing through this. That will, however, shut off the gas flow and not allow it to flow through there. And with no electricity, you do not have to worry about being electrocuted. Very important safety feature, but also one of them things that break very, very common on lots of different things, even like electric heaters and stuff. Most of the time when your electric heater stops working, it's because of that switch right there. Or because you didn't clean the damn filter. This valve right here allows more gas to flow through here. This is our pilot light right here. Up on the base of the unit, we should be able to see that pilot light lit. Before we turn it up, heat going. And our orifice tube lives inside here, which is the only thing that we need to convert. This wire that's broken is my temperature sensor. It's a very important safety feature as well. We're going to solder that back together while we do this procedure. We're going to remove 3 screws right here. You might have 4. I don't know if one of the kids forgot or what, but I think there's supposed to be 4 in there. Not ready yet. I need to go over and move the set screw that's holding the pilot up inside the tube. Feeling like a space brain one more time tonight. We can set this off to the side. Basically, these copper lines that are held down there are sensors. So we just set it off to the side, and then we're going to discover where our orifice lives. A lot of units will have an orifice tube that you can flip over. One side will be gas, one side will be propane. I think in this situation, more than likely, it doesn't have that. So we're going to have to this orifice tube loose, drill it out, and make it the proper size for natural gas. And because most of this stuff is made in Asia by little children, this is a 6mm Schroeder because they have really small hands. Okay, we look down inside the orifice tube. We've got a little bit to drill out. Now, we're going to take this out to 1/8 of an inch. We're going to drill it from this side, so I'm going to put it in the vise and drill this thing out. So you just want to make sure that you drill this orifice straight using a 1/8 drill bit. Yeah, don't be gay about it. Don't worry, I love all you people, but I just don't have time to care. And not gay, that's the clay way. Don't worry, we don't judge. We just need to know for sure. Hopefully you didn't need to see me throwing that orifice tube back in there because I didn't video it. Put that back in there and put the screws back in. Because this is natural gas, I don't need this wide gap on here. So I'm gonna take some of this, duct tape, ducting tape, wrap, put it over here. Gas does not need the same oxygen as propane. Solder on my temperature sensor again when I was putting that tape in there, but we'll fix that up again. So I went to Amazon and I got this conversion kit. I'm going to put a link to that down in the description below. You're also going to want to go down to your local hardware store and pick up a 3-inch long, half-inch male-to-male fitting so you can secure that between the pipes and connect your quick disconnect. All of these kits that I've ever purchased always came with Teflon tape, but you're going to want to make sure you Teflon tape every fitting in every joint. We're going to turn on the gas. Okay, with our cigarette lit, we want to spray all over this, turn our valve on, and make sure we get no bubbles coming up out of there. And if you don't have any flames or anything like that, you're good to go. Now look at this. We got this really sweet table candle. It's really cool. Since I didn't want to drill a hole through my table, other than these little ones, I put a little bit of that duct tape on here and ran that tube through there so it didn't wear a hole in it. If you're doing this type of conversion on a patio or a porch and you don't run it underneath there, they have these plastic strips that you can run the cable or the cord underneath of. I'll put a link to the Amazon down in the description below. Sure that I put Teflon tape over everything, and I've mounted mine down to my table, ran my hose away from my heater just to make sure I don't melt anything and stuff like that. That's what we're looking for, a nice blue flame. If you don't have a nice blue flame and you've got a red flame, you've definitely drilled your orifice incorrectly, and you probably need to change it because what is happening is different gases are not being burnt and spent the way they are supposed to be. So you want to be really careful. If you do have a different color flame, that's because your orifice is either open too much or you're not running the BTUs that you thought you were. Possibly your gas is not delivered properly. You need to check with a professional at that situation. I can't be held liable for your miscomings. If you're doing this indoors like I am and it's not ventilated correctly, you want to make sure that you have a carbon monoxide detector nearby so you don't asphyxiate yourself. I will put a link in the description below so you can get them off of Amazon. Hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe you learned something. Remember, it's not only about how to do things, but it's why you're doing them. My name's Clay with The Clay Way, and I believe my job here on YouTube is to inspire and empower folks just like you to do things yourself. keep a little bit of money in your pocket. If you would, please consider subscribing, clicking the notifications, sharing my sweet videos. Question for me, you can hit me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook message. I can't help you with the baby mama drama, but I may be able to help you fix your whip for absolutely free. I'll be the next to them, be the very first to you, and no matter what it is anyone else can do, you can do too. God bless, folks. Have the best of days.